Punisher Games. Today we're going to be talking about David Firth and Meat Canyon. David Firth and Meat Canyon, two famous animators on the internet, one starting over a decade before the other. However, in this video I'm going to talk about why I think there are similarities between the two, give a brief history on both, and talk about the differences between the two. And I think there's a lot more similar than you might think, beyond both of them just being creepy animation YouTubers. So David Firth would start animation before YouTube even existed. His first animations would be in 2003. He would make mainly claymation in the beginning and post vids of him playing bass. A claymation he made, A Day in Hell, was an attempt by David Firth to make the goriest claymation he could. And it got kind of popular for the time. However, his first big start into fame was his first episode of Salad Fingers. Salad Fingers was a very scattered plot, and there are several theories trying to dissect it. Now, I could talk about how I remembered how amazing it was and how big it got, but I was still busy being bored for the first few years of it, so obviously I was not around to see it. But David Firth would keep doing Salad Fingers, along with other famous series such as Jerry Jackson and Burnt Face Man. What was so insane about David Firth was his ability to be comedic and horrifying at the same time, and you would often watch his vids and say to yourself, what the fuck did I just watch? I remember watching a vid that is no longer up, but there are re-uploads to this day, which is called Dog of Man. This video was absolutely horrifying to me as a kid, and it was like a fever dream. I would watch it, forget about it for a few years, and then watch it again. And yet I laugh at it now at 17 because of how over the top the gore is. And this shows the brilliance in his work. Not only this, but in more recent videos like Cream, there are messages to them, like how no matter how good something is, it gets ruined by humanity. David Firth has made a lot of popular animations like Cream and very recently Plastic Hand, and it's still very popular to this day. Meat Canyon started much later, creating his YouTube channel in 2015. And from the very beginning you could see his ability to make goofy and creepy animations. What really stood out was his character designs, though they had a very exaggerated facial features and overall were creepy and kind of goofy to look at the same time. Overall, Meat Canyon had even more of a comedy to it than David Firth, and later on would start making videos about current pop culture, like the Johnny Depp trial, Grimace Shake, and he would make fun of popular content creators like XQC, MrBeast, Dream, and Tommy Innit. Recently, Meat Canyon said he's taking a break and wanted to do topics that he specifically wanted to do, and not what was just popular. Recently, he did a video on Queso called Fat Shaming a Streamer, which has 8 million views. So now that we have gone through the history, let's go for the similarities. The biggest one is both of their ability to display many emotions, comedy, confusion, horror, and many more. This is what makes them both special, and is their biggest similarity. Another one is the fact that both of them have a lot of messages throughout their vids, that they display through their animations. The third similarity is their style of horror and how they portray mentally ill characters. A good comparison is in David Firth's recent video Plastic Hand and Meat Canyon's video Blue Clue, where one shows a guy always holding a plastic hand and thinking it's a real person, and another shows a parody of Blue's Clues, where the main character is hallucinating and none of what happens in the show is real. Both of these animations show horrifying realities of mental illness, and overall there's a big similarity between the two. While there are similarities, there are also two differences I want to point out. The first one is the fact that Meat Canyon mainly does parody the things in pop culture or certain shows. David Firth makes original stories, while Meat Canyon did do an original show. Overall, this is one of the differences. The second, more minor difference, is I feel like while both animators have very gory parts of their animations, in David Firth's animations, the gore is much more pronounced. Overall, I thought it was really interesting comparing David Firth and Meat Canyon's animations. Both YouTubers are amazing animators and you should check them both out. Well, that's all. Thanks for watching. It would mean the world if you